Okay, Paul, so you wrote the script for the studio. What's it all about?
Okay, so it revolves around what I would say a failed rock and roller, um, and he owns a rock and roll studio, which obviously people come and practice and play in, and it's all about basically a lot of it revolves around him and how he gets into. Still thinks he's going to be famous, still thinks he's going to be some sort of superstar. And clearly that's never going to happen, but he's completely delusional. And it's all about as well the characters that are around him that put up with him and try to bring him back down to earth, shall we say. He's a bit of a lovable loser.
Okay, and how did you come up with the idea?
Okay, yeah. So years ago, a long time ago, I was actually in a band. So when I say I was in a band, we never ever did a gig. All we ever used to do was go to a rock and roll studio, and whenever we went, I always used to find it fascinating the people that were in there. They were just absolutely mad, these people. And at the same time, I was also having guitar lessons from a chap who doesn't live too far away from me, and I'm told as well that he's still around, unbelievably. And when I used to go to these lessons, he used to tell me about all of his latest stuff and when he was going to release it and things. He was absolutely convinced he was still going to be famous, and he was like nearly 60 at the time. And what I did was I just kind of combined the two. So I had him being the person who owned the studio, that was where it came from, really.
And did you have a particular style in mind for the film?
So yeah, I mean, I've got a real love for comedy. Anything that makes me laugh, I'm really keen on. So I love sitcoms, and I'm always seeing ideas, with things in everyday life where you think, yeah, I could make that into a sitcom. But I really love. My favourite by far is Bottom, Rick Mayall and Aid Edmondson. Geniuses in my mind, my absolute heroes, the two of them. But then I also love things like the IT Crowd and Father Ted, and it's kind of got a little bit of both of those in, a little bit madcap and zany. Whilst people are getting into these situations, so it combines both of them, really, I would say.
The characters, I mean, you've got not just the central character, but you've got several other important characters in it. Where did you get the idea for them?
Okay, yeah. So, admittedly, a lot of it does revolve around the main character, which is a character called Johnny Toogood, and through basically any sitcom that you watch, it will always have a main character and then other ones that he feeds off. So they'll have characteristics that come in. So there's a character who basically helps to run the studio, the general manager there, called Tom, and he's very straight-laced, and everything that Johnny says to him, he's kind of shaking his head. I can't believe he's just come out with that. So he's kind of the polar opposite, shall we say? So they wind each other up. Then you got the zany madcap student, who's a bit eccentric, who works there. So she's, as I say, a madcap. She's done all sorts of crazy things. Her hair's mad and things like this. And that was actually based on somebody who was at the studio. There's this girl there who could just play every instrument under the sun. And she was 19, I think, and she had dreadlocks. So it was, it was based on her, shall we say. And then the other character, which is an important one, is a character called Ralph, who's a bit of a nerd and a bit of a know-it-all, and he absolutely winds the Johnny character up completely. The opposite is that Ralph loves Johnny, loves him, and he can't do any wrong whatsoever, but he never sees that Johnny is putting him down and having a go at him. He just, yeah. So they all kind of bounce off each other, shall we say.
What does it feel like to have it all brought to life?
If it wasn't for the fact that I met up with a bunch of lovely people, including yourself, Jill, who encouraged me to take it forward, I would never have had it done. It means everything, to be honest with you. You know, I'm not even overly bothered if this never goes anywhere in terms of, you know, going any further, shall we say, like getting on the TV or anything. Just the fact that it's been made, it absolutely means the world to me. It's lovely to think that, you know, I've sat here and I've written something down and it's actually been filmed, you know, and done, considering there was absolutely no budget for it. I think it's been done pretty well. You know, it looks pretty good for no budget, you know, and lots of volunteers, and, you know, it's fantastic. Julian, who's the director, has been unbelievable. He's been the real driving force behind this, and helped me out a hell of a lot. Without him, I would never have got this done. Never.
Very good. Well, thank you, Paul. Good luck with it.
Thank you. Thanks, Jill.
1, 2, 3, 4.